So they finally remastered Sonic Generations, which is widely considered one of the best modern Sonic games, which is great and all, but Sega also went ahead and delivered one of the best Sonic experiences to date in Shadow Generations. Now you might be asking yourself, are you serious? Did Sega actually put out a really good Sonic game? Well, I am so glad you asked. I'm thinking for this review, I'll spend the majority of it talking about Shadow Generations, since most likely you're already familiar with Sonic Generations. But for the uninitiated, I'll give a brief overview of the story and some gameplay elements. So, for anyone unfamiliar, Sonic Generations is a 2D and 3D platformer that originally came out back in 2011 for the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. It takes the classic gameplay we all know and love from the original games back on the Genesis, and also refines the boost gameplay that was introduced in 2008's Sonic Unleashed. The story begins on Sonic's birthday as all of his friends are gathered for a surprise party. After Sonic shows up, an ethereal monster known as the Time Eater shows up and starts devouring the world around Sonic and his friends as they're catapulted into the white space.
What?
Sonic, what is that? What's it doing?
The white space acts as the central hub to get to all of the main stages and all of their various challenge acts as well as boss acts. Shadow Generations begins around the same time as Sonic Generations does, as Shadow finds himself being hurled into a separate area of the white space. It takes inspiration from Sonic Frontiers' open zone style gameplay by giving the player an open world area to explore, which again acts as the central hub to access all the main stages, challenge acts, and boss acts.
Shadow.
So Sonic Generations looks just as good as it did back in 2011, just in full 4K now. There isn't too much I can say that hasn't already been said about it. The levels look great in terms of their art design and layout. The music is also fantastic with some amazing remixes of classic themes from so many of the previous games.
Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow.
Shadow Generations is where I can delve into more detail. So the main hub area, again, takes place in the white space, but like I said, is in the open zone format similar to what we first saw in Sonic Frontiers. The game is in full 4K and features the two graphics modes we see in most games on the base PS5. Maybe controversially to my audience, I picked the graphics mode as I like to take advantage of a full 4K image.
I love it!
However, I realize that the majority of people prefer smoother frame rates, especially when it comes to action games. Alright, so let's dive into the nitty gritty and talk about the gameplay. Again, anyone familiar with Sonic Generations will know that it consists of two gameplay styles: classic 2D Sonic and modern 3D Sonic gameplay. I've always felt like Sonic Unleashed had the best boost gameplay, even though it was the first game to introduce it. It just seems like after that it got oversimplified, but maybe that's just me. That's not to say the 3D gameplay is bad by any means, quite the opposite. So I just wanted to make that clear. Shadow Generations similarly makes use of both gameplay styles by mixing the 2D and 3D styles in the different acts of the various zones. So Act 1 will be your 3D stage, and then Act 2 will be the 2D one. Shadow's gameplay is made more interesting by the introduction of Doom powers that you acquire over the course of the game. Unlocking these new abilities make it possible to traverse new sections of the open zone white space as they become available. These range from Chaos Spears, Doom Surf, and eventually Doom Wings that allow you to fly.
I feel complete.
That's freaking cool.
I'm always fond of an upgrade system or acquiring new abilities, as it provides the player with the feeling of getting more powerful over the course of the game rather than just having the same tool set throughout the whole experience. So, to progress through Shadow's story, the basic gameplay loop goes like this. You complete acts to unlock challenge acts, which you need to complete to obtain keys to unlock the boss act. On top of the main story, there are various challenges throughout the white space that you can take part in and a plethora of collectibles to find. Overall, if you're focused on the main story, you'll be able to complete the shadow portion in around 5 to 10 hours, depending on how much of the side content you decide to take part in. However, with Sonic Generations included, which will give you another 10 hours or so, and the game selling for $50, you still easily get your money's worth. In my case, I 100%ed both games for the Platinum Trophy, and it took me much longer than that.
Your energy is still unstable. I need to target the right thing.
I really don't have anything gameplay wise to criticize here. The only thing I will say is that I wish the game was longer and there was even more story, closer to that of a proper full game like Sonic Adventure or Sonic Frontiers. However, this is definitely a quality over quantity situation, as the few hours you get out of both Sonic and Shadow Generations are some of the best that modern Sonic has to offer.
Correct!
There's not much to say in terms of morality, as this game is rated E10 plus and is a great game for all ages. Obviously, Sonic is a thrill seeker who always does the right thing to protect his friends and save the world, and Shadow is a dark, brooding hedgehog who, in the end, does the right thing despite his rough exterior and nonchalant demeanor.
I'm the coolest.
In the end, Sonic X Shadow Generations is one of the best Sonic games I've played in a very long time. This is in no small part thanks to Shadow Generations, which took the Sonic Frontiers formula and refined it to near perfection. Alongside an interesting story and cast of characters, new insights into Gerald Robotnik's past and his work on Project Shadow, the excellent visuals and level design, amazing soundtrack of remixed classics, and a remastered Sonic Generations to boot, this is a game that every Sonic fan needs to own and is a great entry point for newcomers looking to get into one of the platforming greats. It is for all of these reasons that the final verdict for Sonic X Shadow Generations is a 9 out of 10. If they can use Shadow Generations as a template for the next Sonic Frontiers or whatever game comes down the pipeline with a full-length, gripping, and impactful story, then we may very well have a 10 out of 10 Sonic game on our hands in the future.
Correct!
I personally can't wait to see what Sega has in store. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I apologize that this one took me a while as well. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate you watching the video, so please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date on all my latest videos. But until then, again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless you. And I'm wishing you God's best for now and throughout all eternity.